topic is going to be about money, and we we will be talking about money habits that keep you broke. You plural, including myself, so don't be offended. So let's talk about some of the habits that keep us broke. So I have 6 habits, and we're going to be discussing those today. And first on the list, first habit that we have is we pay ourselves last. So if you pay all your bills and do all your spending, buy grocery, do everything before you save, then you will have nothing left to save. So it's a good habit to save. Take your savings out of your pay, your income, your salary, your wage, whatever money is coming in. Take out at least 10% of that money and put it in savings. And that will be there for any emergency, any thing that comes up suddenly. You would have access to that money. So that's 10%. If you can't do 10%, do 5%, but save a portion of a part of whatever you're getting in. Okay, then some of us have friends that influence us negatively. So we will have friends who go on vacation, they party a lot, they buy a lot of expensive designer clothes, designer bags, a lot of expensive hairdos and extensions. So those things get very expensive. Like, I'm not a flashy girl, but I know I spend a lot of money on hair extension and going to the hairdresser. So I can just imagine what it costs people who really keep up with the ear extensions and the hairdos and the flashy brand name clothes and shoes. So it gets pricey. So if you're having friends who are in that type of lifestyle, that can sometimes influence you to overspend and try to keep up with their lifestyle. So it's good to look at your situation, and sometimes what we see on the Facebook or what we see on the outside is not necessarily what's happening, because a lot of people are in debt and we really don't know the full picture and what's happening behind the scenes. So try not to keep up with the Joneses. Try not to keep up with your friends. If you can't afford to party and dine out every day and go to all the vacations, it's sometimes you can say no, especially if it's going to affect you financially. Sometimes you have to consider what's your priority, what's your goal, and then decide what is more important to spend your money on. Okay? Another thing is credit cards. Managing credit cards is very challenging. A lot of people get into credit card debt, consumer debt, because it's so easy to swipe your credit card. Most stores you go into, they have sale and they offer you how much discount, and you have to get your store cards, and it's easy to get swept up into getting cards for these stores and end up in $500, $5,000 credit card debts. So don't swipe your card for everything. Have yourself a budget that you know how much money you have to spend per month on a credit card, and make sure you're paying off those credit card debts, because the interest on them are very, very high, like 20% and more. It's pretty expensive. Organize your finances. So we spoke about budgeting in one of my videos. So if you wanted to see more about detail about budgeting, you can check that out in the video. So if you organize your money and know what's coming in, what's going out, then it kind of put things in perspective for you, and then you can be able to pay your debt, save, and do more things when you know exactly what's going on. You can maybe cut back on your expenses if you realize that you have no money left at the end of of any month. So it's good to know where your money is going, what debts you have, and what your expenses are. Okay? Paying off debt. It's if we have debts, well, everybody that I know has debt. I have debts. So some of the common debts are student loan debts, car loan, mortgages. So those are some of the common debts that come to mind. And when we know exactly what debt is there, then we pretty much can organize them in terms of which one is the bigger balance, and then we can decide if we can. There are two ways you can pay off your debt. You can do it in a snowball way where you pay off the smaller balances first, then you use that money and start paying the second highest one, and go on until it's completely paid off. It might take months, it might take years, it depends on how expensive, how much money you have in debt. So that's one of the ways that I manage my debt. I paid off my student loan. I paid off my mortgage in Jamaica by doing that. So I paid off one set first, then I use that money and put it into the other payments so that I gradually pay off more than one debt over a 2 year, 3 year period. So now I'm just working on my car loan. So that's one way you can pay off debt. Another way you can do it is avalanching. So avalanching is pretty much, the avalanche method is doing the bigger balance first. So you pay off the loan with the bigger balance or the bigger interest. And then when you pay that off, then you move to the second highest. And then you go down and down, 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 like you're going down a hill. So that is the avalanche method. So those are just some of the things that I would recommend that we try to do. And last but not least is investing. So saving is good, but saving doesn't give you a high interest rate. So if you invest in stocks and bonds, then you're looking at investing and getting 8% and more per annum on your money, and you get to where you're going a bit faster. Like if you invest in certain stocks within the next 3 years or 5 years, if you're doing it for retirement, if you're doing it to pay down on your house, you can achieve those faster if you're investing versus if you're just saving your money. Saving is good, yes, because you need an emergency fund, but you need to invest if you're looking at long-term savings. 5 years, 10 years down the road, you want to be investing in stocks. So how I started in stocks is I just read books that taught me about um how to buy stocks, how to trade, and like stocks for beginners or for dummies, and taught myself and speak to people who have some knowledge and some understanding. It's hard to find people who can advise you on stock or who want to share that information. So you have to get books and read and inform yourself, and then just go into the bank and speak to somebody there and say, this is what I would like to do. And they're usually good in helping you and guiding you to do these things. So I know in Jamaica there's JMMB. I know NCB has some investments. So these are some things that you can look at if you want to start investing. So those are just some of the practical tips that I have to offer. Just look at your financial situation and see how you can change some of the things. So look at savings, look at your friends who you socialize with, where you're spending your money, where you're overspending. Organize your budget, pay off those debts, pay them on time, and invest, invest, invest. So I hope this helps somebody out there. So I hope you enjoy this video and like and comment. Thank you. Bye.